to me, 'cause they know I'm on the rise. Get the attention, I'm on a mission, 'cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Get the attention, I'm on a mission, I'm there with the vision. Got a passion, making it happen, ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now. Hey! Here we go! We coming ready or not, you better steady yourself, because we're raising some hell. There's nothing keeping this roof from blowing off. We're taking over the town, hit the switch and shut it down. Like in New York, we're electric, never stop. We coming ready or not, we coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got, we're giving all that we got. We're coming ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire, the stratosphere getting high. We're trouble when we get crazy, we get wild. Got time to
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV. Tonight, we are at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway as the big boys, after North Wilkesboro, prepare for the Coca-Cola 600, a matter of fact, coming up this weekend. Our series is here as well. We welcome you simulcast as well on the Community Radio Network. Good evening. I am Wesley Outland. We have Justin Prince alongside Charles Wooten on a stormy night in the CLICKIT RV LSRTV production booth in Texas. He is manning the boards. Because of the weather, we are not on camera like we usually are. But nonetheless, the show goes on. And Justin, Charlotte, you gotta love this place. 150 miles, 100 laps, the same distance as an ARCA race will be. And it's also in preparation for the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying race semifinal that will be this Thursday night as well here at Charlotte 2.
Yes, indeed. Good evening. It's going to be an intriguing race because a one-stopper essentially on the gas, possibly if we have an early caution. But the more emphasized point, a home race for those in real-world NASCAR facilities and respective teams. This track in turn, not the easiest to race at because of the grip levels. However, it's a track where track position is extremely critical, to say the very least, especially with it being such a bottom-dominated racetrack with these race trucks in the early going once you get single filed out.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how it all pans out again as we watch qualifying get underway here on track. We're looking at John Ottenbacher, the Billings, Montana driver. And by the way, as we set the stage for tonight's round 11 for the Northwest Racing Series trucks presented by CLICKIT RV, Ryan Bloom has a 31-point lead over Dennis Moore. They both have 2 wins this year. Devin West also with 2 wins. but he's still on the outside looking in. Top 12, making it into the playoffs, and right now he is in the 16th position. But speaking of Devin West, Justin, he's on track right now in truck number 5.
It's been a hot streak for Devin West, to say the very least. Been able to keep the truck clean for the past few races, and that's been a major part of him being able to break through in those back-to-back wins at Darlington and Knoxville, and being in contention much of the night at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Devin West seems to be getting on a hot streak. The thing is, it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to keep that pace up tonight that he's carried the past 3 races, because it's a shorter distance race, more of an aerodynamic racetrack, more of a track position filled racetrack. It's already looking a bit rough compared to where his father is in the 7th spot, but we'll have to see if they have the same speed as they've had at the more driver intensive tracks compared to the setup intensive tracks.
And right now we are watching Devin West, currently 11th in qualifying. Will he improve? Yes, he will. He'll climb up to the number 5 position right now. So again, qualifying on the speedway to set the stage for this big race here tonight. Again, 150 miles, 100 laps the distance. And here comes Clifford Toby Ritters for Win Racing, the 23. And look at that, to the pole, from 14th to the pole, Justin.
How about that for Toby Ritters? I think he just had the perfect line to get that. And for Toby Ritters, might be possibly the first pole of the season. Here's the thing, his teammate Kevin Smith just starting the flying lap in the final stages of qualifying here. He has the best chance, I think, of anybody left on the track to try and take the pole away from Toby.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how all this transpires again. That's now Toby Ritters. And I know that definitely the powers that be at iRacing and LSRTV, Rocket Racing Media, have been trying to work behind the scenes this week to help Kevin Smith in making sure he has a better internet stream to broadcast, or not to broadcast, but to at least race. And right now, 14th, 15th on lap number 1. Got to pick it up.
Oh, and that might have cost him. He just scraped the wall, Wesley, into turn 3 with the end rear quarter panel. That might invalidate the lap time and give Toby the pole.
We'll see. Here he comes.
No.
Will he improve? Oh, wow. He still got it. He still got the pole.
I'm surprised, because normally if you scrape the wall like Kevin Smith just did, that invalidates the lap. I guess the iRacing sim did not count that as a 0x. He just got very lucky here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And now we see Ryan Bloom working his way around track. The 25, the points leader in 10 starts, 2 wins, 5 poles, 4 top 5s, and 7 top 10s for the man that's got a 31-point lead over Win Racing teammate Dennis Moore. Ryan Gormley is third, 46 back. 59 back, Toby Ritters, who right now is on the outside pole. Jeff Stabnow, 60 points back, 80 points back, Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr., Stephen O'Hare, John Onnebacher, Dan Lowther, top 10, 93 points separating your top 10 and Ryan Bloom. And well, we'll see where Ryan Bloom ends up. Here comes now also Chris White on the speedway in qualifying. And Ryan Bloom will
That was a terrible... Yeah, that was a terrible time. I don't think he got the run he needed to, Wesley, coming out of turn 4 to set that up. That's why I think he was so off there. Either that or put in the race setup by accident. Chris White, though, I think is trying some tire magic. See if he can wait until the back straightaway. Make sure he doesn't cook the tires on the eye. Try and play with the tire temperatures, essentially, a little bit here. But again, not going to have too much time. They plan to advance in about 45 seconds. Will they let Chris White attempt 2 laps or only get him to have 1?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this puts him at right now. Watching Chris White now work his way around the racetrack in the number 47. Down the back straightaway. What kind of lap will be put down? Chris White, Kevin Smith on the pole, 29.89. The CWR Racing Chevrolet works his way off turn 4 to the line in his truck. Will cross the line and he will end up 19th. Oh boy, oh boy.
Terrible outlap, but even more so. Sean Bright's saying you already had a lot of time. You should have went earlier, basically, by the advancement at 9 minutes to go on the clock on the dot.
Well, ready for the field to get set for the lineup, and now we'll reset the lineup music one more time for you. There we go. On the pole, Kevin Smith in the 00 machine. So Kevin Smith will be the man to lead him to the green flag. Toby Ritter's on the outside. Again, that's row number 1. Row 2, Dennis Moore, Win Racing Machine, and Sean Brightsman in the 46. Row number 3, here at Charlotte, Tyler King in the 21, Jeff Stabnow in the 24. He's won here at Charlotte before, but it was on the Roval. Stephen O'Hara in the 41, and the legend Frank Harris. Can he have another great night in the top 10 run? He's in the 8th position. Ryan Bloom, the points leader. He'll fire off 9th, and the 3rd place points man, Ryan Gormley. He'll be 10th.
11th spot tonight going to the 7 truck. That's Brett Johnson, who'll start alongside Devin West in the mid-pack in qualifying in the 30.1s. Row 7, Dan Lowther. Showed speed early in the super speedways. 13th here to start tonight alongside Roy Grande's 18 truck. 15th position in row 8, it's Troy Daggett, who had an interesting night the last time out. Dan West Jr. only one time set in qualifying. He starts 16th. Stephen Paulison starts behind in row 9 in 17th with Carl Burke in the 18th spot in the 30.6s on a second lap. Chris White, the last driver to take a time, ran out of time in row 10. John Annenbacher, the first of those who did not set a time. He attempted to qualify, but did not set a lap either lap. Looking to close things out, Ron Hunter 21st with Chris Kynes 22nd amongst those not setting times. Scott Hutchinson and Russ Lundberg, as well as Chad Mountley amongst those to close things out. Of note, Russ Lundberg only taking part in practice tonight, not on the racetrack, so 24 trucks ready to race.
150 miles, 100 laps the distance here on the 1.5 miles here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And these drivers will get ready to come to the green flag when the safety car comes onto the pit lane here this time by. Kevin Smith, another pole. Can he finally relinquish this and go the distance without any problems? And how about it for Bomb Speed CLICKIT RV Win Racing Team drivers 1, 2, and 3, Justin, on the front row?
Not a surprise, they've done that much of the season. Now the race pace is the interesting mark. Kevin Smith has had the pace all season. His internet, not so much the pace that he needs. Toby Ritters, he's been careful off the starts. Dennis Moore's been quick. We'll see how they go to the start block.
Ready to come to the line. The green flag is about to fly in the air. It's in the air, and you have a virtual race. We're under green here at Charlotte. It's 100 laps. It will fly by quickly. The distance sets the stage for Thursday's eNASCAR Road to Pro. This is the start, and it is Kevin Smith. Another flawless jump on the green out in front of the back straightaway.
Already the teammates 1, 2, 3 up on the top line, in through 3 to the bottom side. Moore runs into his teammate Smith. Ritters checks up. Brightsman tries to take it 3-1 and spins in front of the field. A slide for Ritters in the pit lane. We stay green as Brightsman takes the road course.
What a heartbreak for Toby Ritters. And just like that, trucks all over in the grass, and Toby Ritters will come down pit road. Sean Brightsman also way off the pace on the bottom of the apron. All of this going on the opening laps, and we stay green as the leaders go to 3.
Black flag as a result for Toby Ritter's Ryan Gormley. Significant damage, letting multiple drivers go. Jeff Stabnow looking to take advantage down the front straight away on everybody. To the outside of Dennis Moore into turn 1. Avoids the bump of the tunnel. Looking to use all of the speed to rip his way up to second down the backstretch.
Well, somehow he'll save it. And what a save it was for those drivers like Brightsman and Moore. A black flag penalty being given again to Toby Ritter, so that's heartbreak. He's got to try to find a way to shake it off and put himself back in the race, as right now he's on the lead lap, though 20 seconds back to the leaders in 24th. Meanwhile, look at this battle. 3 trucks, top 3 up in the front. Smith dealing with Stabnow, dealing with Dennis Moore. And wow, what a check up in front of Stabnow. And then he went for the crossover of the 24 wheel down to the inside into turn 3. What a move.
Stabnow in the lane arc and a slide up bump on the bumps. Stabnow holds on the scene. Kevin Smith looking for the cross. Looking for Dennis Moore as the top 3 right at the bottom. Smith trying to peek underneath Stabnow. They get alongside once more. Stabnow holds on to the race lead after using the cross up down the back. A little bit of the late arc onto the entry of 3 before.
Can you say what a move by the driver there of Jeff Stabnow? And somehow some willing and dealing between him and Kevin Smith to somehow negotiate their way through all this chaos and put him now in the number 2 position. And Smith will battle back on the outside, but Stabnow protects the bottom as they go into 2.
Now slides back up. Kevin Smith with a run down the backstretch. Dennis Moore gives space. Smith shows the nose into 3. Smith alongside Stabnow to the corner panel. Stabnow runs the second line. Slides up the racetrack. Kevin Smith the short distance around, trying to get the pull back alongside the flag stand. 94 laps to go, already 6 laps down from Charlotte.
All of this going on now as they work their way back again in the corner. Boy, oh boy. And look at Smith and Stabnow powering alongside one another as they work again their way in the corner. Down into turn number 3 and 4 through the triangle in the dog leg. And somehow, some way, they keep it going in a straight line there, Justin. What a save. Aerial coverage presented by LSRTV for tonight's race. And what a battle for the lead on the back straightaway here in the early going.
Dennis Moore underneath for second. Kevin Smith pushes up the track. Use the banking as a ramp. Moore, though, keeps it alongside for a moment. Clear back is Kevin Smith. The interesting thing to mention here, I've noticed Stabnow using very abrupt lifts on that throttle when trying to burp the throttle. Will that be a little bit too abrupt? We'll see in terms of the long run speed in about 10 laps time, Wesley.
Yep, we'll watch them right now as again they work their way up into the corner again. Jeff Stabnow still the leader. You've got Kevin Smith now second. Dennis Moore in third. Ryan Bloom, Frank Harris, your top 5. Look at this battle now in the top 10 starting to brew up here. Paulison, Lowther on the outside looking in, and so is White. What a battle. He jumped up the racetrack, climbs the 24 degrees of banking. Dan Lowther will capitalize, and so will White on the bottom out of 2.
Paulson losing tons of speed, losing 2 spots in the span of 1 corner. Chris White looking to find a ton of speed. White already 8 spots up. Trying to close up to Lowther. Lowther pushing hard off the corner, forced to check off of turn 4. Chris White with a run down by the flag stand, looking to rip away the 10th spot. Whoa! As the preferred mark makes the pass.
I'll tell you what there, Justin, I thought Chris White going to dive into the grass, make the pass in the grass, if you will, on his own tonight. Trying to make a move on that position. And all the while, here's the number 5 machine, Devin West, clearing around Frank Harris as they work off turn 4 back to the strike. But West now the 5th and the 5 and the 1.
Looking clean to run away, and that's been a critical part of his success lately. Still, keep in mind, 2.5 seconds to this grouping of 4 trucks now. Ryan Bloom, the quickest out of anybody, mowing down a 10th per lap to your top 3, and is coming in quick. The battle for the lead starting to heat up down the front straightaway, though. Kevin Smith with the mid-run speed starting to come in. Stabnow plays the block into 1.
You got to think the gremlins that have visited Kevin Smith, the Walla Walla, Washington driver, Justin Prince, they normally happen right around the 20-lap mark. He's closing in on that, but right now he's confident. He's looking strong. He powers his way to the inside on Stabnow. He's got his teammate more with him as they work off turn 4, but not enough. Stabnow stays in the lead on the top as they work through the line and they climb the banking back into turn 1.
Higher arc up over the tunnel. Stabnow tries to rip the lip along the edge of the safer barrier. Kevin Smith looking to clear. Can't down the back straightaway. Stabnow better run on the outside. Dennis Moore trying to draft off both of them. Can't figure out who to choose for now. Still even on the gas through 3 and 4.
All of this going on again right now as we continue to still see all of this great racing going on.
Oh, contact for the lead. Stabnow trying to cross up Kevin Smith. Hits the back bumper and now slides over the track and puts him in the wall. Into the lead goes Dennis Moore inside of Stabnow. Stabnow with a massive push-up puts Kevin Smith in the wall.
Justin, if you can hear me, take it, buddy. My screen has gone black. I don't know why.
An absolutely chaotic moment. Kevin Smith from the race lead had the crossover with a bump from Stabnow and then a slide up into the wall after Stabnow missed the bottom into turn 3. Kevin Smith, significant damage, back to the 5th position. Dennis Moore, big time capitalization, already up half a second, all while Devin West moving up to 4th as a result of the issues for Smith.
And while all that goes on, it is still Dennis Moore now, the leader in the number 44 machine. Ryan Bloom now battles with Stabnow. This is going on for 2nd, Justin Prince, as they work their way off the back straightaway here in Charlotte.
Stabnow, significant nose damage as a result of the contact to the back bumper of Kevin Smith. Having to let go Bloom inside for 2nd. Ryan Bloom moving up 7 spots now after struggling in qualifying. Quickly making up the spots. There were apologies over the radio from Jeff Stabnow, but as you may expect from an incident for the race lead, Wesley, some tempers flaring a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely in the air, no doubt about it. Remember, this about to be 1/5 of the way through. 20 laps of 100 coming up here as again, it is still Dennis Moore, now the man leading the way. Ryan Bloom in the 2nd spot. Jeff Stabnow the 3rd. Devin West. All these drivers working their way to the tribal out of turn number 4.
The Munstos trying to make the charge for Chris White up 10 spots. Munstos trying the top line, trying to change up multiple lines in fact. Diamonds his way out through turn 2. Picks up the draft from Roy Grande. Grande trying to set up Troy Daggett at the same time, bobbling his Daggett. Now the 2, the 3 choose the top side. No, Chris White choose the bottom of the 3 and 4 instead.
Somehow they keep it down to the bottom of the racetrack. Troy Daggett up in the fence on the safer barrier as they work out of turn 4. Back to the inside. It's Grande now battling with Daggett and with White. He'll go to the middle as they work their way into turn 1.
Another diamond off the line for turn 2. Chris White to the blue line. Troy Daggett ripping the wall. Daggett better run. Roy Grande still can't get the poke underneath the 99. Looking back hard inside, Roy Grande going harder on the entry through 3. Starting up as Daggett nearly into the fence as he gets the run off the corner.
And the little bonsai move by Daggett's truck. Somehow Grande and White survive the advances. Down on the outside, down to the inside. It is still Roy Grande. He'll pull up in front of White's machine. And they'll try to go 2 for 1 on Daggett. Instead, White goes high as they work behind Daggett, and now it's going to be grinded to the bottom into turn 3.
Yellow and gray, 18 still looking to find a way forward. Still can't get the run. Now White with the better run. Thinking 3 wide, backs under the gas. Caution flag is out. It's down the back straightaway.
Yellow flag will fly. It'll be the first caution flag of the race. We'll find out what happened. Is it Ryan Gormley? Possibly Gormley
No.
with a problem in 22.
Believe it was the 41, Stephen O'Hare. Remember, half the field, because of that issue on lap 1, was driving with massive damage this race, Wesley. So
That's right.
a lot of drivers were dealing with very ill-handling race trucks. I think it might have boiled over from that packing.
And Ryan Gormley actually out of this race. That's going to be heartbreak for him, especially coming into tonight's event. 3rd in the points. Wow.
Yep.
We're trying to find what happened. It looks like Tyler King might have some damage too. Here is a replay, Justin, of why we're under the first caution on lap number 22.
Now this part I'm confused about because Ron Hunter did tow his truck, but was not originally part of the initial accident, interestingly enough. This is after the caution came out. So caution came out down the back straightaway. That's why there's smoke cups there. Then you have Ron Hunter just flat out drive into Stephen O'Hare with his blow motor after O'Hare pulled back up the racetrack, which leads to the question, what happened for O'Hare to be in the middle of the racetrack?
Yeah, we need to stay on board with Stephen O'Hare, which, by the way, has a stealth-looking Ford. Very dark in stealth colors on the wrap job of that machine for the damn worth it entry, number 41. Look at this. Oh, is that off of, oh my. It's off of
That's
the
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson machine. And here he comes in the middle of the track. Oh, wow. Oh, man, nowhere to go for Ron Hunter at that time. Pit stops have happened. Now, a quarter of the way through here, Justin, and 23 laps before the first caution flag coming out here. By the way, anytime the cautions come out, it's brought to you by Virginia811.com. Caution summary information, 1 caution, 2 caution laps so far of the 23 completed, and there's been 2 lead changes from Smith, the pole truck, to be passed by Stabnow, then Stabnow passed by Dennis Moore. That's brought to you by Virginia811.com, reminding you to dig with care. Call before you dig. Justin, your thought of the quarter of the race so far in Charlotte?
Typical Charlotte, seeing lots of green flag racing. Not so typical start to that run, though, because normally you don't see the leader get very loose like what happened in the checkup attempt with Kevin Smith originally, and half the field having to deal with damage and potentially already having to think about fast repairs or manual damage repair. That's how the cards may lay here. The thing is, though, with this caution situation from some of those damaged trucks having issues with the handling, now we're at a one-stop race. Put it simply, you make it to the end of the gas. If you go at the full run, about 25 laps to go is the furthest these drivers can go by the time we get back green. It becomes more of a question mark of when do you blink if you're the leaders?
That's a good point. Dennis Moore, now the man up in front. Dennis Moore, the driver of the CLICKIT RV Bomb Speed Win Racing Chevrolet. He is now the driver leading the race. It's Devin West in 2nd spot. Remember, Devin West and the West family, father-son duo, have been doing really good, with the exception of probably 8 of the last 10 events for the Northwest. That's counting the Northwest trucks, the CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series, and the Dirt Super Late Model Series, Justin Prince. The West family, in some shape or fashion, has won 8 of the last 10 sanctioned events of the Northwest Series. Impressive.
Extremely impressive. Dan West Jr. when it comes to fixed racing. We've seen Northwest history very comfortable with the cars, usually a long run, very strong long run tire saver, I was going to say. Devin West in particular, as mentioned with this run, seems to be more comfortable on the open side with the truck, with the way it's been handling, the speed limits of itself. So it's been impressive how things have been for the West family racing trucks. Devin West, though, now is in a good spot with the track position. Big question, does he have the speed, long run, past 20 plus laps to battle it out with those up towards the front? Stabnow got very lucky, I will say. The caution, interestingly enough, to not fix the nose, so he might be a sandbag here.
So we settle in for a restart now. Lights off on the pace car. We'll come back to the Geico restart zone, and we will be officially on lap number 26 when they come to the green flag completed, working lap 27. Dennis Moore, Devin West on the front row. You've got Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow, row 2, row 3, Troy Daggett, Dan West Jr., Christopher White, Roy Grande, Johnson, and Malik in your top 10. Still a long way to go. 75 laps less remaining as the field watches the pace cars scamper onto the pit lane. They come back through the virtual gearboxes. Green flag back in the air. It's a battle between Win and LSRTV as they'll dive them off into turn number 1.
Single file for the top 4 ready. Devin West looking for the boost of the draft. Dennis Moore slips up to the outside wall. West lines up the bumpers. Ryan Bloom looks to poke Devin West. No major poke. Staying single file once the top grouping. Troy Daggett launches himself through 5th and misses the corner and nearly spins it and does.
Whoa! Spinning, bottom of the apron. Hold on, everybody. And he'll still draw a caution. Caution out for the second time. Big kudos, though, Justin, that nobody hit him.
Extremely lucky that he just spun around in front of the field and no one hit him. In particular, Dan West Jr., the second he entered the corner, I know that truck was going around because he absolutely missed the entire lift point by a country mile and maybe an extra hectare or 2 as well. Launches it in 10 miles an hour quicker than most of the others. Misses the bottom. That spins him loose. Spends a whole corner trying to save it. And eventually just spins it off to the apron to safety.
Caution out. And I got a feeling more trucks are going to come to the pit lane. Not the top 5 will, but others that are in the back probably. And yeah, we'll reset them and try this again. Dennis Moore, again, still the man in the lead. The driver of the 44, Devin West, up 10 spots. What a climb from 12th to 2nd right now. Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow, and again, while we're under caution, you just saw on the replay. And again, Justin, what a save for everybody, especially those that were around Troy Daggett. That could have possibly took out a lot more drivers than what it did.
Good heads up by Dan West Jr. to see what was happening, but also check up in time, I agree. One thing that this caution plays a positive for, I will say, remember Toby Ritter's had that black flag from having to floor it through the entire pit lane in the lap 1 crash. He is now in position to get a lap back if we get another caution. He's now one lap down with the lucky dog in the 23 truck.
And I don't see anybody showing any signs of coming to the pit lane. So it is what it is right now.
The only one who pit I did notice was Sean Brightsman, but he has damage on the left side of the truck that's impacting him, just damage repair at this point. The problem is, when it comes to the damage, not able to fully seal it up for some. That leads to the question mark of how things play out for Stabnow long term. I still think he's going to be in trouble long term because of how crushed in that front nose is.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, that is where we're at right now. Welcome to our coverage. I'm Wesley Outland. Justin Prince is alongside. We're also coming up on the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of radio identification. This is the Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV from Charlotte on CRN, the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Welcome back, and we're getting ready for, I believe, the one-to-go indication. Justin, 70 to go. Green flag coming up 20 to halfway, and we'll see the LSRTV win racing battle again.
Yeah, caution came quickly last time before things can break out fully. But Dennis Moore in a good spot here with the clean air off the launch. It's just, again, the question, how does Devin West's truck play out in the long term? The battle, I think, is going to really form up once we get a few laps down for Forfon back here, because I'm still not comfortable with what I'm seeing with the damage. I'm still not sure that's going to play out long term for Stabno unless he gets the faster pair and while maintaining track position during green flag stops. There's a lot to consider here for a lot of these drivers here. Still a long way to go, and still a long way from the green light for fuel.
Long way to go, short time to get there. Let's remind them of that, Justin. Usually this race is 200 miles, 134 laps. You dock off 34 laps and 50 miles than what we've ran in the past. This is a sprint, no doubt, for these trucks.
That I can agree with, because put this in perspective. If this race goes on a green flag run, you're talking about a 1 hour race normally. However, that doesn't factor in the potential of attrition. Dennis Moore off and away for the green. Devin West kept in the dust to the box.
Back underway here at Charlotte. Down into turn number 1. They'll climb the 24 degrees of banking, and it's going to be Moore up on the hole shot. His teammate flanked behind him in Bloom. And then it's Weston Stab down. Team LSRTV and White's in the battle again as the back straightaway goes into 3.
White watches as Stab now moves up to the wall inside Dan West Jr. Dan West Jr. moves up to 4th. No, hits the bumps. Stab now gets the ramp off of 4. Stab now moves back to the 4th spot. Now Devin West, meanwhile, up the road looking to set his sights for 2nd and 1.
Climbing the banking, everyone stays down to the bottom of the racetrack, hugging the yellow line. It's going to be Chris White now instead. He will be the only guy to go to the top shelf there at the safer barrier. Then he's got to close in behind Stab now and West. Dan West Jr., that is, the 2-time series champion, now in the top 5 out of 4.
Slipping back, he's been stronger long run throughout the day. Still, the damaged truck of Stab now looking to hold up the Hornet's nest. Dan West Jr. pokes for the diamond. Through turn 2, Chris White pokes up to the wall, runs the wall down the back straightaway. Single filed out for the top spots for now. Top 6, make it 6 indeed, pulling away by a second for the rest of the pack.
Yeah, holding on to those spots again, as you mentioned, working their way again off the corner out of turn number 4. And again, they still continue to do-si-do in that single file formation. No one jumping out of line just yet, as now you see the battle going on with Brett Johnson, Chad Malik, Roy Grande, Kevin Smith back in the top 10. And so far, fingers crossed, Justin Prince, he's closing in on 35 laps, and he's not had any problems being disconnected yet.
And it's pretty clear with the dive he just took in turn 3, he does not want to waste any time. He wants to get up to that lead group. Side by side, Malik and Roy Grande for 7th, meanwhile in front. Grande led by the 08. Dive underneath, Kevin Smith says thank you very much. He'll take the spot while you're offering them to the inside of the 2.
And Kevin Smith will now advance that position now, put him in that number 00 to the number 8 spot. He'll go for 2 for 1. Grande and Johnson battle. Carl Burke on the outside watching this battle, going on at a 4. And they're going to set their sights now on Malik as they work into turn 1.
Still lots of time being lost for Roy Grande. He's been struggling short run throughout the day. Brett Johnson passes inside for 9. All while Kevin Smith runs the bottom, side by side for 7. Malik trying to hold up on the speed. Able to fix the truck with a caution. Now the later arc, Kevin Smith gets the lift. Harder charge from Malik though, not wanting to back it out.
Yeah, not done 1 iota down to the inside. Malik on the outside. Here comes Kevin Smith back down to the inside again. They continue to battle with one another. Down into the corner, up the bank, getting the turn number 1. Malik on the outside. Smith now gets the run he needs on the blue line. He'll make the move to the inside, and here comes Devin West making a move on Chris White. Flip-flop that as they go into 3.
Jeff Stab now amongst those starting to play some ground here. Dan West Jr. losing lots of ground. Chris White looking for the charge down the front stretch. Getting a little peek, looking to try and find his way around the Bronco truck. White up to the top, looking up with the head of steam, looking to ramp it off the banking for the backstretch run.
Somehow, some way, they continue to hold it together, holding that momentum down the back straightaway. White to the inside. He'll make his move on Bloom again. Moore still protecting the inside as they work to the line. 60 to go next time around, and we're coming up on lap 40, 10 to halfway here at Charlotte.
White getting close, a little contact. Might have been error. Ryan Bloom holding on to the midline. Chris White routes the blue line down the backstretch, stays below the dotted edges. Second lane now to the middle of the backstretch. Later arc for White heading into 3, pushes Bloom up the track. Still not backing out. Side by side for 2nd.
Not backing off 1 iota, as you just mentioned. All of this great racing going on back into the double dog leg, down to the tri-oval. It's Bloom on the outside. West will now go. White wheel correction up on the outside lane now. He opens the door to Devin West, and they still can't get to Dennis Moore as they go off 2.
Lots of ground lost for White as a result of some of the shuffling. Now looking for some breathing space. White later on the lift point in through 3. Trying to still keep up with Bloom as Bloom tries to work with Moore to run away.
Back through the tri-oval again, closing in on under 10 laps remaining. Next time around to the cross flags here at Charlotte. Look at this battle now. It's, of course, the 20. Chris Kynes battling with Troy Daggett. This is in the top 15 going on at a 2.
Daggett ripping the lip. Remember, Daggett's truck spinning out off the last restart after being a race-high 5th. Chris Kynes pushing a bit up through the bumps, pushing hard off the bottom. Misses the bottom by half a truck length as Daggett zips by on the outside.
Yeah, he'll somehow hold on to that spot there. Remember what happened to Troy Daggett earlier when he spun coming off of the inner to turn 4 into the double dog leg, and now he is trying to get himself back into the top 10. Right now he's in the top 15 and climbing in 14th position. It's Dennis Moore, still the leader. Look at White and West and Stab now going at it single file. They're going to break out of line soon. Dan West Jr.'s in that dogfight now as they work off 4.
They have been fighting back and forth for 3rd, to the point where Bloom's been trying to play and feed them draft. West tries to cross up White, clips the blue line, slips back into line. Back along the star stripes along the outside of the safer barrier, off to 3. White lets the gas breathe. Devin West lets the gas send himself in for 3rd.
Watching all of this go on, the leaders. Dennis Moore still out in front. Ryan Bloom in 2nd. This is for 3rd. 4th on back. Devin West coming through. Clear a path on White and company out of 2.
Three trucks working together on the bottom side, one on his own slum on the outside. White lifts on the throttle, harder charge from Devin West. Stab now gets close with the bumper, behind them. Still dead even through the quad oval. Lots of space being given by White as they now have a 3-truck, make it 4-truck battle under a blanket into one.
No doubt about it. A lot of respect being given right now here on the Charlotte Motor Speedway. But the question is, though, JP, how long will that last? It's even teammates, for that matter, battling for the 3 spot as they work their way up the bank and into 3.
3 of the teammates try to work together to get this spot. Chris White getting shuffled out in the CDR truck. Up the track, and Chris White to the wall. Stab now with contact with them. We stay green as Chris White now deals with significant damage right side of the race truck.
Well, we had a feeling that that was probably going to happen. It didn't last for long, and now White falls all the way back outside the top 5 in the number 6 position. Everyone else is all single file as we're closing in on halfway, and they're in turn number 3.
Tempers be flaring tonight as now White significant damage. Kevin Smith is coming though. Up to 6 with that trouble despite back bumper damage. Next in line, the driver who fed him the damage, Jeff Stab now. 6 truck lengths are difference through 1 and 2 for the time being. Comes the question, how does the battle play out for 5th when that gap closes soon?
Yeah, that battle plan somehow it's gonna slowly but surely dissipate, and you better make your move now where you want to go. By the way, Kevin Smith back in the top 6 spots now. Kevin Smith climbing, White falling back, and there's father, son, West family. 3 and 4 trying to go after the Win Racing drivers of Moore and Bloom as they work their way out of turn 2. It is Win Racing versus Team LSRTV into the back straight away.
Teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. So critical at parts of this race and has been through parts of the day. Devin West lets Jeff Stab now go. Devin West starting to struggle long run. Dan West Jr. has the fastest truck on the track though. He needs drafting help to get there though, with this being such a also draft dependent package.
Draft dependent indeed, and somehow, some way, they continue to still work their way single file down the back straightaway. They're going to be coming to the halfway flags this time by. Let's give you your full field rundown with 50 laps to go, 50 in. Dennis Moore is the leader as White, that is White, battling Brett Johnson. This is going on for 6th and 7th spot, but again, we're halfway home. Dennis Moore the leader. Ryan Bloom is 2nd. Dan West Jr. up 13 spots is 3rd. Jeff Stab now 4th. Devin West is 5th. Then it's Kevin Smith, Brett Johnson, Chris White, Roy Grande, and Chad Malik, your top 10 at Charlotte.
11th spot, John Onnenbacher up from the 20th position, the first of the non-qualifiers from the running order, 2nd in that category. Sean Brightsman after his slide to the grass early in the race after the lap 1 crash, up to 12th. Steve Paulison's to 13th meanwhile. Troy Daggett back in 14th after his spin has not been able to recover the spots. Howard Kane also wants those significantly damaged from the lap 1 crash. No repairs done yet, still in 15th. Chris Kynes 22nd to 16th. Well, Carl Burke has stayed in the back much of the race in 17th. Frank Harris is back in the 18th spot. Dan Lowther all the way back in the 19th position. 1 lap down, just pitting in fact. Scott Hutchinson in 20th. The rest of the field. Toby Ritters, 1 lap down as well, looking for the lucky dog still. Stephen O'Hare, 2 laps down in 22nd, with Ron Hunter out of the race. DNF, 31 laps down, 23rd. Ryan Gormley, 47 laps down in the 22 truck. Involved in the lap 1 crash, parked it after 6 laps. He's out in 24th.
And again, Russ Lundberg, the driver that was in the attempt to make the race, the 129, unable to run here tonight at Charlotte as well. So, all right, second half of the race. Justin, you're taking the first half. It's our, without being on camera, LSRTV mid-race report updated. And I think it's only the beginning of the fireworks beginning to fly. I think there's a lot of patience being given right now. I just don't know how much that patience is going to last here in the second half to the checkered flag.
Well, seeing as though it's a racetrack where patience ends up being a very important skill, I think you're going to need patience. Speaking of troubles, though, Ottenbacher is in the grass.
12th place, Ottenbacher still trying to fight the truck into turn number 1 and 2, and somehow he finally gets the handle on it. What a save for the 89, and no caution, Justin. You were saying it.
I think that emphasizes the point because Ottenbacher pushed too hard on the gas and looped himself nearly down through the infield, and is doing it again. If you are patient on the throttle, if you know how to be careful on your throttle modulations, you're in a good spot. That's why Dennis Moore and Ryan Bloom are so quick on top of their setup in terms of speed. They have the patience to make it work. Those who have been aggressive on that point have been involved in some contact tonight. So, in terms of that, the cream rises to the most patient. That just so happens to be your 1-2 drivers with the way things are shaping out early. Dan West Jr. a close third, though, in that grouping. It's now going to be important, though, you enter the pit cone properly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hands down. And by the way, Charlotte Motor Speedway, it probably in real-time racing and even on the sim, because it mimics it, no doubt about it. When you're in full speed coming down to the pit lane, Justin, you have got to find a way to hit your marks perfectly when you're making green flag pit stops, or it will bite you.
It's so easy to pick up a speeding penalty, or better yet, if you don't make the right pit call or call the call in time, as we've seen a couple times as of late, you end up getting run over here. So it's not easy in terms of that entry. On top of it, you have that wall because of the Rovo configuration, like it's there in real life, meaning you don't have really any space in case you overcook the entry. You lock up the tire, you might hit the wall and knock down some cinder blocks nearly. So in other words, better put in practice. Looking at you, Truck 24.
He's in fourth right now. Let's tell him. Oh, definitely.
I mean,
and it's because of the mistakes he's made before, Justin. I get it. It's not like you got a bullseye on the 24, but you do.
Yeah, he did it at Kansas, and he set himself after the race at Costam, and then he won the other race later in the week, remember? Because he practiced
exactly right.
pit lane.
Justin Prince telling it like it is, does not sugarcoat anything. Even if he is the boss of Rocket Racing Media. And I love it. Yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Don't play favorites. And here we go. Green flag pit stops. Justin, what do you think? In a matter of probably less than 15 laps or less than that?
Honestly, some of the drivers, I wouldn't be surprised to see them come in the next 3 laps. Most realistically, 5 to 7. Based on the current fuel projections. It's going to be interesting who banks on a caution, though, because right now, we might see a lot of drivers think about that, such as, say, a Tyler Kane or a Stephen Paulison, who might be able to hold their own until around the 30 to go, if not 25 laps to go mark. A lot to consider, though, when it comes to that mark, in terms of doing it right, because if you come in too early, you're not going to have enough grip to be able to defend long term. If you come in too late, you're talking about having to make up 5 seconds on the racetrack in the span of about 35 laps, and that's not an easy task.
And by the way, as we mentioned coming on the air, it was a fast race. It mimics the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifier race semifinal that is this Thursday night. You can check it out on iRacing on LSRTV and the FTN network as they'll simulcast streams together. And Terry Radford, Jason Rockefeller, Daniel Falkingham on the call for that event. Again, Thursday night. Thursday night, again, right here in Charlotte. And it is 100 laps. It is a sprint. It is not a 200-miler or a 250-miler or even a 400-mile race that we've done before. Right now, they come through the tri-oval, out of turn 4, the dog leg, out of turn 4 down to the stripe. Stabnow and Smith This is a battle going on for fourth. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Win Racing or LSRTV. Catch them by their toe, and they're in turn 2 again.
And West Junior slipping back once again. Stab now still trying to keep the 55 within distance. The one driver who's playing a cork in their LSRTV string of trucks, 00 of Kevin Smith. Now within 1 truck length to Jeff Stab now. Much quicker this run has been Smith despite the damage. Pit stop, Devin West is in from the group.
And no doubt about it, this could be the money stop also, right, JP?
This is likely going to get them to the end of the race, pending any other cautions. Now it's the matter of, do they do the right timing of this call? We'll see as Devin West, the first to blink, and does not elect to fix the damage on the right rear quarter panel.
Why would you? Not yet. I would say save on to that fast repair. It's kind of like having an ace in the hole. Grande on pit road, locks up the truck as he speeds the tires, entering pit road. Justin, you mentioned how hard it is to negotiate into the pits at Charlotte, especially in a green flag run.
Yes, indeed, and a lot of these drivers, keep in mind, going very ultra conservative to the point where they're trying to enter in turn 3 on the apron. No, you do not do that. We don't do that in real life either. But the interesting thing I will say to mention, the pit exit is even worse because you're having to carry so much speed, but it's so easy to push up, clip the blue line, and spin out or get an unsafe pit exit line commitment cone violation because you have to carry so much speed along the edge of the apron.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And right now, Sean Brightsman trying to pick up the pieces from the bad luck he had. Battles with Chad Malik, and here comes his teammate, Dan West Jr. on pit road. Justin, I find it funny that Team LSRTV, all of them did not go down to the pits together.
Honestly, I prefer not going to the same time together because then you shuffle and stagger each other out instead of catching yourself off guard to the point where you run each other over. Stagger it in twos, that seems to be the play. Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom though, they want to come in the same lap. Bloom losing a little bit of ground to Dennis Moore. Kevin Smith in, all teamwork in. Sean Brightsman has missed the pit lane and nearly driven into the cone. I think he actually ran into the 08 who called for no pit call and got ran over.
Maybe we could find a replay of this again and show you what happened to Sean Brightsman. And man, this is heartbreak because everybody else behind him is pitting. Look at this, Justin. He was committed and they might have overshot or somebody threw a block on him.
Yeah, and then you have Malik slide in, and then says, okay, I'm going to pit, I guess. You can see why someone would be upset if someone pit while you were on their bumper. I've seen this happen several times, even including official racings where someone says, pitting in turn 3 entry, then hits the brakes. They get ran over. Driver behind says, what are you doing? They're like, I want to pit. That doesn't work.
And in doing so, Justin, it might have damaged his truck more than what we thought. And that's kind of how you get some hurt feelings here, for sure. There's got to be a little bit more give and take in what just happened.
Not even give and take, it's just giving communication to your fellow driver to say, I pit, or have to come back in. Almost look like the case in the 08, I gotta come back down. You don't just peel down the pit lane and hope no one hits you. When they're within a truck lane to your back bumper in the same line, that's where disaster ends up happening. It plays into that famous radioactive line when it came to one of the crashes of the super speedway that some people, get hush-hush and be like, they wanted to pit in secret. Guess what? That doesn't work.
And now it might have literally just took him out of contention, hands down, with what just happened. Here's Tyler King now. We'll see where he's at. He's the man that's leading the Beaver State Racing, the Nicole Bryan Photography Ford the driver that is the defending Northwest truck champion. And he is out in front now. And they're still making pit stops. And with trucks being in the pits during the green flag run, the pylon hasn't updated yet, Justin. But right now, there's only 15 trucks in the lead lap. And Daggett, who brought out the second caution, is now in the number 2 spot.
Hurricane still in the race lead. Keep in mind, they can go an extra couple laps, believe or so. It's going to be close to the end of the run. Sean Brightsman might have had to choose that strategy after what happened with the pit sequence. Now seems to be trying to hobble the truck. And a more interesting note, remember the talk of the undercut. Is it too early? Do you end up having someone late too late? Devin West is in the net lead if things go in cycle. The thing is, he's got 4 lap holder tires and the gap has shrunk down to under 2 seconds.
Wow. Amazing. And we're closing in on the final quarter of this race as well. By the way, just real quickly, caution summary presented by Virginia811.com, reminding you to call before you dig. And right now, I think we only had 2 cautions for 8 laps in the opening 40 laps, if that. And since then, it's been the longest green flag run of the race, green flag pit stops, and Justin Sean Brightsman finally on pit road.
Had to. That truck was severely damaged and he misses his pit box for good measure. I think we had the fast repair in hand, but that's going to be costly. At least 2 laps down likely for Brightsman by the end of the cycle. Now we have to see, what do Tyler Keene and Troy Daggett do? They are right at the cusp of the end of the fuel tank. Only an 8-second buffer. If anything, it looks like Daggett is struggling to get the power down with the fuel load. All while Tyler Keene is calling for the pit entry into turn 3. And nearly gets himself ran over because he almost did exactly what you said, I just said don't do. Although there was a bigger cushion this time.
What me and you both said don't do, brother. Oh. Tyler King back on pit road again. Look at this. Oh, my. And again, will he take a fast repair, Justin? That's the question.
Have to. I'm shocked he hadn't taken it already. The damage has been there all run, and just like that, fast repair taken, but we'll have to come back from a lap down likely by the end of the cycle. Only Troy Daggett yet to come down to pit, and Daggett is somehow, I think, finding a magic fuel-saving tree at this point. He's gone farther than everybody else now by 2 laps.
Oh, yeah. Go time in Charlotte, no doubt. Final quarter, 3/4 of the way through. 23 laps to go. Daggett, now the leader, who brought out a caution earlier. He's now the man that leads the dance. Not anymore. He comes down to the pit lane. Check that scoring pylon. Justin Prince, I've always said that's why I love doing NASCAR, watching these green flag cycle of pit stops, because if you watch the scoring pylon intently, you can watch the number from the bottom shoot back up to the top, and that's exactly what's happened, except Devin West is in front of Dennis Moore.
So the pit stop cycle closing, Devin West in the race lead now, but for how long's the huge question. Devin West currently up by 0.4 of a second. They will lap Troy Daggett likely. Here's the thing, Moore and Dan West Jr. both on near identical cycles. The thing on the reason Moore's gap has closed, he hit the wall in the attempt to close up and is now dealing with right fender damage. Is that what Dan West Jr. needs to equalize to try and make a move coming at 20 laps to go?
Working off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Now, coming to the line, it is 20 laps to go at the stripe. Settle in for the home stretch. It's Devin West, it's Dennis Moore, it's Daddy West behind him. And how about Kevin Smith surviving the technical gremlins, and he's in the top 5. Oh, and Toby Ritters is right there with them, 2 laps down.
Trouble front straightaway. Frank Harris crashing, Chad Malik getting into him as well after 3 wide out of turn 4 with Chris Kynes. Caution is out with under 20 laps to go.
Everybody on the binders as you're watching them get on the brakes there to miss the accident on the front straightaway. Frank Harris and others. Third caution, under 20 to go. Justin, you saw it happen on the front straightaway.
On the exit of turn 4, in fact, already 5 different trucks, all different tire cycles. Chris Kynes has struggled much of the season. Malik says, I want to go around, takes a 3 wide. Frank Harris not expecting it. A bobble down from Malik hooks Frank Harris and pushes Kynes into the wall. A 3-truck crash. And this changes everything. Now it's all up to the short run pace. And this may save Dennis Moore's race because now he can fix the right front quarter panel and fender.
Oh, yeah, hands down. And if I was that 23 truck of Toby Ritter's, I would be taking this opportunity to not pit, get back on the lead lap, get back up to the front, and go for the wave around to get back on the lead lap there, Justin. I wouldn't pit if I'm 23.
As a matter of fact, he's only 1 lap down again, though. That's the problem, because at the time of the caution, he couldn't get 1 lap down. So now, he was still pinned a lap down. Everybody else in for scheduled stops. Does anybody take a bold call? No, he was not in the free pass, in fact. Believe that might have been somebody else. Yes, it was 14th place,
yep,
Tyra King.
Yep, you're exactly right. He gets at least 1 of his laps back. And obviously he went for the wave around, or the free pass. He'll go for the wave around now. The free pass was given, obviously, again to Carl Burke. All right. Well, Justin, Toby Ritter's is now he's the truck 1 lap down. So if we get a restart and another caution, which he's crossing his fingers, his eyes, his legs, hoping that it happens, then you put him back on the lead lap. And here's the reason I say that about the 23 truck. You saw, Justin, how fast and competitive he was, hanging right there with the lead pack. If he can get back in this game, pardon the pun, he's going to be somebody to make a fight for. We saw him really strong in qualifying, and there was just gremlins that happened on the start, not even of his doing.
Really intrigued on how this is about to play out here. An interesting note, and I'm curious how this gets decided here. There is a discussion over the radio about this. Ryan Bloom and Kevin Smith somehow, I'm not sure in any way how, picked up an unsafe pit entry, Wesley, or I think might have passed. I'm wondering if this had anything to do with the fact they passed by 2 of the trucks who were trying to get a lap back, because you can't pass them until you get the prompt saying you're approaching the cone. I think both of them passed a truck each, and that counts as passing under yellow.
Valid point.
And I think race control has sided with at least Kevin Smith to clear it. But again, they passed a truck apiece before they even got to the commitment cone, or even to the prompt for the commitment cone, trying to pass by those looking for the wave around.
But if you got trucks that are in front of them, how is it the leader? How is it their fault? I mean, see my point? I mean,
yeah, I get the point, but it's sometimes how the iRacing system can work. But they will get to keep the track position because, again, race control will double check that post-race as the confirmation over the radio.
Well, all that this has done has set up more drama than what we had already seen. It just ended a probably close to 45-lap green flag run. Let's take a look one more time at the 1 to go indication being given to the field. The Virginia811.com caution information. And on the bottom left screen, there it is, 3 cautions. 12 caution laps. Lead changes are 6. And honestly, Justin, I don't mean to say this about anybody else in the back of the pack, but it has been Team Win Racing versus Team LSRTV all night long here in Charlotte.
I mean, all their drivers are amongst the top 6, so it kind of is, to be quite frank, exactly that situation. They've had the pace, short and mid-run. Win Racing better long run, I will say. But now it's all up to that short run pace. It could go to anybody with how this could play out here. You have even strength in numbers, all lined up in the same line, mind you. And remember, the last time they had a restart, Win Racing had a countdown, caught all the other trucks on the outside off guard, took advantage to go 1-2. Wouldn't be surprised to see the West Family Racing trucks, along with Jeff Stabenow, do the same thing here, force Win Racing to try and pass them back.
Sunset in Charlotte, lights off on the pace car. By the way, Chad Malik is the driver a lap down. Toby Ritters has got to get around Chad Malik to get back on the lead lap, and it's Team LSRTV. Father with the punt to the sun, pulling away on the whole shot. 15 to go. They climb the bacon into one.
A huge gap built up by father and son, working their way through 1 and 2. Stabenow tries to block Kevin Smith. Smith gets loose, getting underneath Stabenow. Forced to check up. Stabenow holds on to the outside. Side by side with the Win Racing trucks into 3 as Bloom tries to pass Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith bobs, he gets sideways, working off the diamond of the corner. He'll now rip in front of the machine of Bloom. Tries to steal that spot away. He'll clear now by the 25. Put him to 4th. He's after Stabenow. Team LSRTV, 1, 2, 3 out of 2.
Smith now gathering up. Bloom shuffling in behind. A slide from Bloom in towards the wall. Kevin Smith smacks the wall with the right front fender. For the race lead, Dan West Jr. rips the lead away from his son into 3.
Father versus son, teammates as well. Coming off of turn 4. Stabenow watches all this go on at the line. 13 to go. Nightfall settles in. Pick your poison in Charlotte. They're in 1.
Father now looks to try and show the son what to do. Dad West Jr. pulled away from Devin West. Stabenow being poked underneath down the backstretch towards turn 3 for 3rd. Smith to the quarter panel. Smith to the blue line. Stabenow keeps his foot in it, pushing up as Smith pushes up and nearly turns him.
Got up under the fuel cell, or if you will, the tailgate of the 24 Stabenow, and then Smith backed off. This allows Dennis Moore, his teammate for Win Racing, to reel back in Smith. Smith and Dennis Moore ready to reload their guns and fire on Team LSRTV. 1, 2, and 3 to the back straightaway.
Smith has been trying all race long to find a way around Jeff Stabenow, still not giving things up for 3rd position. Stabenow missing the bottom. Kevin Smith arrow pushes to fall nearly up to the wall. Bloom falls in action. 11 laps to go up on the flag stand.
Back off into turn number 1. It is Dan West Jr. now. Devin West, Jeff Stabenow. All of this going on as they work their way on the back straightaway. Single file, first time in a while, and they are off into the 3rd turn. Stabenow after Devin West in 3.
Devin West lets by the 24. Remember, Devin West thinking big picture much of the time. Not a lot of time to think about that picture, though. 10 laps to go. Down to the final 15 miles from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Stabenow trying to hook the bottom. Dan West Jr. pushes hard up the track. Here comes Stabenow, now within 4 truck lengths down the back.
And Kevin Smith now ready to pounce on the inside on Devin West, as well as Dennis Moore. Jeff Stabenow down to P2. He's going to try to run in his teammate now. Single digits at the line. 9 to go. And we're back off into turn 1.
Now charges hard, very hard to the bottom of the track. Eats into the gap by 1 more truck length. Dan West Jr. slides up to the wall. Stabenow still within 3.5 truck lengths. Devin West falls in tow as they work their way through 3.
Remember last Monday night, Worldwide Technology Raceway, where the Xfinity cars for the fixed setup series will be Wednesday night. We had 3 overtime attempts to determine the winner. Right now, we're in single digits. It's 8 laps to go. It's anybody's race. Dan West Jr., 2-time series champion, back-to-back in 2021 and 2020 leads the way on the back straightaway.
Down through 3, Stabenow within 3 truck lengths now, slowly inch by inch closing up the gap. West Jr. slips it up out of 4. Stabenow lower on the exit. Still trying to find a way to get the draft to work. Still trying to work with that damaged snout as they work through turn 1.
The virtual sunset settling in, the lights illuminated around America's home for racing.
Trouble turn 1.
For the
Caution is out. Stephen Paulison from the 12th position gets involved in contact with Tyler King. And we're under yellow with under 6 laps to go at the stripe.
Yellow flag out for the 4th time, 7 remaining. Justin Prince, you saw it happen in turn number 1 and 2.
Paulison just completed the pass, mind you, in the teens on Tyler King. King with a chance to get the draft back. Then technical gremlin strike because lots of space at first. Then the air decides, you know what? Let's go inside Paulison's truck. That spins Paulison out.
Tough break for the Team Aerokinetics Esports, number 58. Justin, do you pit? I would say I feel stupid asking this question, but obviously fresher tires are better than used tires. Does anybody pull out of line, or do you make your bed, you lie in it, what you got? And second question to that, segue, can we still finish this race in the scheduled distance?
We can finish in the scheduled distance. Thing is, everyone has pit 3 times. With the way the race is played out, though, I don't think anyone has any tire sets left. So unless someone just decided to take fuel only and hope there was another crash, there's not really much anybody can do strategy-wise here. So that's just the bottom line.
Interesting. And look at everybody driving below the apron. By the way, Chad Malik, the driver that gets the free pass. It was not Toby Ritters. He fell back 2 spots.
Oh, I think I just found out who has tires, though. It just so happened one of them was in the caution, interestingly enough. I'm not sure where they saved the tire set. Might have been the first caution. Tyler King, as well as Sean Breitzman, both 4 tires available in the pits. They're the only ones I think that might have had a tire set left.
Yeah.
If they can pass, it's not going to be a winning move, I think, with how far back they are. But there's a shot with how big the fall off can be.
But Justin, Tyler King just got involved in that tangle there with Paulison, so you got to wonder how much damage is on the 21, if that.
That's the thing, because it was internet-related with the air deciding to just so happen to... He doesn't have any. I think he... What's the phrase that I can say that doesn't say the actual phrase? That he Naruto warped into another truck. So in other words, he didn't get damaged, he just internally damaged Paulison.
Sounds like you're talking
There's
Star Wars to me.
Close enough.
It's the Force is with you without the Force being with you, right?
Yes, I guess that's the best way to put it there. So the tough break too is I think Troy Dagan was in the same scenario, but the problem is he is a lap down, so he doesn't have the track position to even take advantage of the fresh tires.
And by the way, Justin, none of the leaders come down to the pit lane for pit service, so that puts a block on Stephen O'Hare, Frank Harris, Toby Ritters, and even Troy Daggett that are just 1 lap down for the opportunity to go for the wave around on the 1 to go. They can't do it.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
okay.
I'm not going to comment what I just heard of the ear, but I will say this. I am not sure how Tyler King needs a few GWCs. He needs green-white checkers for this to play out, I think, for the time he needs. But I think he could at least get a top 10 as long as he can find a way to pass 5 trucks a corner set.
And remember, we're still in the scheduled distance. Lights are going to go off on the pace car this time by. It'll be a 3-lap. No, it'll be the first attempt at a green-white checker. In the regular distance, though, this is still the regular distance, right, Justin?
It's a natural green-white checkered, which means it's a temp 0.
Yeah, it is a temp 0. You're exactly right. Thank you very much for clarifying that. By the way, hope you strap in for Memorial Day weekend. This Sunday, Justin Prince, one of my favorite times of the year, buddy. The Monaco Grand Prix for Formula One in the wee hours of the morning. Then you got the 107th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. I was able to chat with my friend Mark James of IndyCar Radio Network this afternoon, and I know they're excited, and just heartbreak there with Graham Rahal and getting bumped, and Jack Harvey making it in, and just the excitement of that. And then, of course, the Coca-Cola 600 for Virtual Man and Machine tonight. They will go 600 miles this Sunday. And remember, amongst all this, it's Memorial Day. Remember, it's all about homage and memory of our men and women that have fought for our country and that have perished. We remember, we pause, reflect as we're ready to go now. We're still in the regular distance, as Justin said. Green flag, caution comes out. We're going to overtime. If not, Justin, they're looking for the white flag. Next time around, the green flag is out, and Dan West Jr. gets the jump into 1.
The West Family Racing trucks getting defensive. The Kevin West holds up down now. Kevin Smith over the back bumper, the 24. Down now, loose out of 2. Hit by Kevin Smith. Smith holds on to it. Still poking to the inside for second. A step now as he looks to rip it away from the sun. Devin West.
Kevin Smith went for a shot on Jeff Stabnow. They worked into turn number 4, down into the double dog leg. A shot by Stabnow after Devin West. He can't get there. White flag's in the air. One more lap to go. It's Dan West Jr. leading for the final time.
Dan West Jr. getting exactly what he wants to see. 2 by 2 for second. Devin West getting pushed by Kevin Smith. Stabnow trying to squeeze the 0-0. Side by side, Smith and Stabnow through 3. Close as they go near door-to-door out of 4.
It is Dan West Jr. leading the cavalry off turn 4. The battle is for second, third, fourth, fifth. Pick them at the line. It is Devin West behind Daddy. Kevin Smith for Win Racing gets past Jeff Stabnow for third. Jeff Stabnow in the 4th position. Ryan Bloom, my goodness, what a crazy tangle there for the finish here in Charlotte. And Dan West Jr. is going to pick up a win. It will now be his first win this year in the trucks. Justin, amongst all the success that the Weston family have had, it's been either on the Northwest Super Late Model Dirt Series or the CLICKIT RV Northwest Fixed Setup Series. Dan West Jr. will now join the other drivers with a win tonight in the trucks at Charlotte.
Not only that, Dan West Jr. with this victory tonight, just 1 away from tying Stabnow for 3rd all-time in Northwest Racing Series history for victories. 38 career Northwest Racing Series sanctioned competition wins.
You know, we're stat guys. I know you're fond of that info just as much as I am. But what a job for Dan West Jr. in his 9th start tonight. It will now be his first win, 5 top 5s, and now 7 top 10s. And the crash 'em, bash 'em Northwest high five salute rumbles onto the pit lane here at Charlotte. Wow. Take a breath. What a wild last 2 laps that could have been. And Justin, I got to say mad props to Kevin Smith and Ryan Bloom and Dennis Moore. They could have turned Jeff Stabnow. They could have turned Devin West, but there was respect given, respect earned, and that was the finish that we got at the end.
Yes, indeed. And as I mentioned, one of the major things about this season, this trend for the West Family Racing Trucks, more so Devin, keep it clean, you'll find a way to victory lane. Guess what? Dan West Jr. and Devin West, amongst those who kept it clean, they're 1-2.
Definitely, surely did. Let's look at the unofficial results, not the restart. Dan West Jr., father, Devin West, son, 1-2. Kevin Smith, 3rd for Win Racing. I am so glad you reached the finish line with no technical problems. Jeff Stabnow will finish 4th. Ryan Bloom with a solid top 5. Dennis Moore, Christopher White, Brett Johnson, John Audebacher, and Dan Lowther, your top 10 when it ended at Charlotte.
Up a spot tonight going to Roy Grande at the finish. Tyler King, after taking the fresh tires, only gained 3 spots. 3 to get up to 12. Chris Kine, Stephen Paulson, Carl Burke, the top 15. Last Roberts in the lead lap. Chad Malik and Sean Brightsman, 17. Toby Ritter's 1 lap down in 18th, did not get the timing of when he needed cautions to fly tonight. Stephen O'Hare and Frank Harris, the top 20. The rest of the field, 1 lap down, Troy Daggett, the rest of the field out of the race. Scott Hutchinson, Ron Hunter, Ryan Gormley. Wes Lundberg elected not to enter tonight's race after participating in practice and then leaving during the drivers' meeting, electing to practice more instead.
Final look at the caution information summary here tonight, presented by Virginia81.com. Dig with care, and 4 cautions. A good race. 16 caution laps, 7 lead changes, and when it's said and done, Dan West Jr. gets the win. Coming up, our post-race wrap-up, and we'll talk to the father-son West family again. Kevin Smith for Win Racing with a battle. I said it, I'll say it again. It was tonight. Team LSRTV versus Win Racing so many times across the board. And when it's all said and done, Dan West Jr. getting that first win this year for the trucks. We'll be back in a moment. This is coverage of the Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV from virtual Charlotte. iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network. Welcome back to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV, the Community Radio Network. Justin Prince, I'm Wesley Allen. We're going to try to get off the air before the top of the hour. And listen, what a great battle. I said it. I'll say it again. Team LSRTV versus Win Racing at Charlotte. One for the ages. It was a battle of teammates and then by themselves working it out. Dan West Jr. picking up the win. Kevin Smith will finish third. Kevin, first off, man, I got to say, and I'm sure you will follow the same sentiments, this is like a win for you, for Win Racing, pardon the pun, because you've literally had so much technical gremlins this year. I think you're just so happy to cross the finish line from green to checker.
Agreed. Super frustrating season so far. So just to get to the end of this, get on a podium, Jeff and I battled really hard there at the end, and as we should, and just to come through there and not get disconnected. As you know, it's been a long battle trying to figure out what was going on, and I'm happy with the third, but obviously we would have liked to see more Win Racing trucks in the on the podium.
So a lot of work probably going into that side of things to make things work. From the understanding, there was a lot of discussion with various groups on what to do. What ended up being what you worked on to fix the technical gremlins that have been seen to hamper your internet anytime you are leading a race?
Yeah, I think tonight the big difference is we had some additional cooling to the computer. So I'm monitoring now. Jeff Stab now was super beneficial in helping me with that. I mean, really everybody. I can't thank this series enough. I mean, I was in a practice one night and Frank and James were helping me. My team's been helping me. I reached out to Sean and Jeff, and everybody's really been trying to help me. And I think tonight, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, just some cooling issues. Upgraded some stuff in the case over this season, and maybe just working stuff a little too hard, got hot.
Kevin, with all the things that you dealt with in the truck and the fixed setup series, is this put you behind the 8 ball so badly that you've got to drive as aggressive as you can to try to get a win at any cost? Can you hear me, Kevin?
Why do I feel like you just had a technical issue right now?
Kevin, are you there? Did we just lose Kevin? Well,
I think there's a possibility, Wesley, that it's more than the cooling if that's the case.
oh man, I hate to say that if that's what it is we just lost Kevin Smith, and I actually had Kevin, can you hear me?
I can hear you if you guys are there.
Yes, did you get my question, or do I need to ask it again?
No, go ahead and ask that again. I was scrambling a little bit.
So my question that I had for you was, because of the technical gremlins that you've had for the last 10, 11 weeks, is it going to make you have to drive more aggressively than what you would do to try to get one of these wins to put yourself in the opportunity to go to the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I've got to be on that kind of attack mindset. I still think that in trucks, I've got a good opportunity if I put some consistent finishes together to maybe get in on points. The car on Wednesday nights, maybe a little different deal. Might have to get a win there, but it is what it is. I mean, everybody goes through one of these seasons. I've had some bad luck on the track too. When I've been running good and I've caused some stuff myself. So, everybody fights this stuff at times, and for me, it's been a little bit of technology. But we'll keep plugging away. I mean, the biggest thing is we've got fast trucks. I mean, we're bringing some fast stuff every week to the racetrack. It's so much fun to race with these LSRTV guys and the rest. It's a good battle.
It certainly is. Thank your sponsors, buddy. We'll see you Wednesday night at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Yeah,
first and foremost, I just want to thank my team. I mean, Dennis, Toby, Ryan, they put so much time, effort, and energy to these sets every week, and we come to the track prepared, and it's because of their efforts. So thank you guys. And CLICKIT RV, CLICKITRV.com, CLICKIT RV, Milton Freewater, if anyone's in the market for a new pre-owned RV, travel trailer, motorhome, get in touch with me. Parts, service, we can certainly help you. Thanks, guys. LSR TV's great. Thank you, guys. You put on a heck of a broadcast. And really, our series administrators, Sean and Jeff, just put on a heck of a show each and every week and just run such a good series. So congratulations to Dan and Devin, and it's just nice to get up here on the podium. Thank you, guys.
I'm finally glad to see him on the podium, no doubt, without all the technical gremlins along the way. Walla Walla, Washington's number 00 for Win Racing. It's Kevin Smith again, third place. Runner-up, Devin West and Dan West Jr., father and son again. As we mentioned in the last 10 races, 8 wins amongst those names. Devin, you'll be the bridesmaid tonight, but I know it's not a problem being behind Dad, pushing him to the win, trying to survive in the shootout, and pretty crazy race tonight between Win Racing.
Yeah, it was a great race. Obviously, you want to win every race you can, but Dad hasn't won a race this year. But to see him win and also see Jeff win, to see both those guys battling it out for the win is honestly even better than a win for me. So. Yeah, great race. Obviously, good job to Kevin. They were all fast. Dennis, Ryan, all them. We didn't think our set was super competitive before the race. Unfortunately, I wasn't there to help this weekend to build one. But Jeff, Dad, and Sean, they came through, and it was good enough.
What was that pressure like, trying to hold off your dad, but also the rest of the pack, knowing how the Win Racing trucks have been all race, how aggressive it been up towards the front? How difficult was it to hold off your father, Dan?
Honestly, I saw Dad coming for like 2 runs, just running me down both times. And so I knew that his truck was definitely better than I was, and he was just driving great tonight, better than I was also. So between those 2 things, I just kind of laid over. I didn't want to interfere with him or Jeff, Jeff either. We were trying to get top 3 sweep there, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out. But I also noticed 5 top 10s for LSRTV, so that's pretty right on.
Oh yeah, and no doubt about it, Devin. You had to have known You got Kevin Smith and Dennis Moore banging down your back door, and you got Jeff Stabnow right there trying to hold them off. You're holding them off. You're holding Jeff Stabnow off. Jeff Stabnow, he's hungry. He's looking for a win, like you said. When does the teammate mentality go out the door, and you got to try to hold off that guy to keep that guy from going to victory lane, and you want to be the guy that hoists the cup first?
Obviously, I'm going to try to win every race I can. I mean, even if those guys need wins, if I'm driving lights out, I'm going to try to win, right? I mean, these things don't come easy. They don't come often. And, I mean, to win a race in this series is something to hold your hat on. So I'm trying to win all I can. But on a night like tonight, I just didn't have it, man. I was honestly probably a 5th or 6th place truck. And somehow everything worked out amazing for me all night long, which is rare. But I don't complain. So, yeah, I'm just happy to see Dad win. He's been running really good lately and just hasn't had the luck. And same for Jeff. I know he's not happy with 4th, but 4th is a step in the right direction. So,
sponsors, buddy. Thanks as always.
Yeah, CLICKIT RV, obviously sponsor the series. I know they help out quite a bit, so big shout out there. And then LSRTV, up you guys in the booth. And then obviously Jeff, Dad, Sean, John, Brett, all those guys for making this a blast. And then my sponsors, Effective Web Solutions, King System Hardwood, and Merchant Distributing.
Hey, by the way, I gotta say one more thing, buddy. Do you realize you've climbed 7 spots in the last 2 weeks now? You've moved up to the number 13 spot, up 3 spots again tonight here at Charlotte.
That's pretty sweet. I've been running pretty good lately, so I don't remember last time I finished at top 4, so yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And he's moved up to 13th with 2 wins this year, 7 starts, 5 top 5, 6 top 10s from Shelton, Washington, the LSRTV West Racing entry of Devin West. And finally, Dan West Jr., 2020-2021 truck champion, finally getting a win tonight in the trucks. Got a couple of wins this year in the fixed series and on the dirt as well, but a 3-win-in-a-row streak. Devin, obviously said it, Dan, and I'll ask you this as well. Kevin opened the door. Do we feel like there's a line in the sand now, and there's going to be something brewing between Team LSRTV and Team Win Racing, kind of like you would see between Hendrick and Joe Gibbs or Stuart Haas or something of that category on the Sunday level in this Northwest Series now?
Well, you're always chasing the fast guys, right? And Win Racing is definitely proven to be fast. So anytime we can run with them and win at a track that they're at, I feel pretty good.
Talk us through the battle for this win tonight. Having to battle your son, having to hold off the Win Racing trucks. Talk us through those final stages of the race that seen you claw your way through the field and in turn come away with the victory up 15 spots.
Yeah, I think like Devin said, the race kind of played into our hand. I think Win Racing had probably better long run trucks. I tried to take care of my stuff early on, and we got in that mid race run, and I think I was sitting third, fourth, somewhere in there, and I just kind of lost pace a little bit. So I was able to, I just kind of tightened the truck up for a short run, just kind of hoping for that, and that's basically what played into our hands. So I had a really good short run truck.
No doubt about it. This race for sure, it could have went either way. Were you glad that there wasn't a chance of overtime and the crazy 3 overtime finishes we had last Monday night at Worldwide Technology, and even Charlotte last week had 3 overtimes for us, but hands down, a good race. Your take on that, being the guy in the number 1 spot, I know you got to be happy.
Yeah, anytime you're out front leading a race, you don't want to see those cautions, right? I mean, you want to see that white flag come out, and you just want to finish that race. So, there's twofold there. I mean, if when you have cautions, then you usually have upset drivers, and because somebody's coming out on the losing end of that stick. So, when we don't have cautions, I feel like it's just a better race for the people to watch. You get a lot more longer runs and see the trucks, the good trucks, come out on top. So all in all, I think it was a great night, man. I'm very happy for everybody. I went back and as I'm watching the race right now, and that 3rd place finish was a good run. And congrats to Kevin there, bud.
Man, I'll tell you what, they were coming after you hard there on that last restart. and not only the Win Racing teams, but even Jeff Stabnow and your son Devin, would you have it any other way? And segue that into thanking your sponsors also, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was pretty fortunate to have my team members around me. Like say, Devin, you know, he didn't really lay over there, but he knew that I had the better short run truck, and I appreciate him not battling me there to make it tough. So I think that's just kind of a teammate thing that gives you, you know, they're not going to lay over by no means. I mean, like Devin said, these wins do not come easy anymore. I mean, there's a lot of good racers out here. So I just appreciate the team. I mean, these guys they're very fortunate. Like Kevin says with his guys, I feel like I'm very fortunate to have the team members that I do. So as far as sponsors go, Effective Web Solutions, LSRTV, CRN Sports, appreciate you guys. CLICKIT RV, this is definitely RV season, guys. They got a lot of units on the lots. Go out and check them out. Thanks, guys.
Dan West Jr. from Shelton, Washington, father, son, 1 and 2. Kevin Smith getting on the podium. That's the way it wraps up in post-race tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, Justin Prince, your final take on everything, buddy. We'll get ready for next week, no doubt. And the points have updated. Ryan Bloom still in a 30-point lead over Dennis Moore. Jeff Stabnow has climbed up 2 spots up to 3rd. Ryan Gormley, even though he had a bad night, Justin, he's still in the top 5. Oh, and Toby Ritters is now fell to 5th. Your take on this race?
Very intriguing, to say the very least. The caution flags definitely played a big part on some of the strategy and some of the cycles in terms of how the winners and losers played out. And played out in the short term, or rather for the short run truck speed-wise. Again, West Family Racing trucks, like we've seen several times this year, keeping it clean, key.
Now, again, when it's all said and done, it's a big win for those drivers. I got to ask you this question, Justin. Are we seeing now the LSRTV team and Win Racing? Are these the creme de la creme of the Northwest that we're going to be watching, do you think, for the foreseeable weeks to come to decide the champion onto the playoffs of 2023?
Amongst those 2 contingency groupings, I think you can say yes, because I think they've had the most consistent speed track-to-track basis. So really, it's Win Racing versus the West Family Racing / LSRTV trucks based on their raw speed. I think it's going to be intriguing to watch those 7+ trucks fight it all season now.
Remember, we are off next Monday in observance of Memorial Day. Thank you to our men and women that have fought and served, protected, and died for us to have our freedoms, and for the people that still do that to this day. And Memorial Day is one of the holidays where we are proud to be American and honor them. So, with that being said, we are off next Monday. Our next race is for the Fixed Setup Series. We're at World Ride Technology Raceway on Wednesday. And remember, the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying semifinal. Terry Radford, Jason Rockefeller, and everybody with LSRTV FRFTN on Thursday. For Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, all the folks at Rocket Racing Media and iRacing on LSRTV and Community Radio Network. For Justin Prince, this is Wesley Outland. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Congratulations to Dan West Jr., winner tonight at Charlotte. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless.